bad news is that the ick factor hasn't worn off from these character designs in the animated version of Kaiju number 8. Their faces are just too smooth. They look like Matsumoto left them in a rock tumbler for a few weeks too long and rubbed off all of their edges. But the good news is I can live with that. This anime looks awesome. Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. I am going to take a few moments to review the fourth official trailer. It's been out for a few weeks. That has been released for Kaiju number 8. And I am pleased. I've been honest about this from the start. I don't do squick. I don't do ick. Guts, gore, that, and just grotesque imagery. From the very beginning, that was my concern with this manga. In the manga, it's not a problem. But as an anime, everything is more intense, more colorful, and you get the sound effects. And altogether, it makes it a very unpleasant issue for people with sensory issues like moi. But there's when focusing on a nasty subject, death, assault, guts, gore, there are many different ways to put it in any art form, but there's kind of two generally different approaches. You ignore it completely and don't show it. Well, three different approaches. Ignore it completely, don't show it. Show it, acknowledge its existence, but you don't make it the focus. And then you make it or the third one is to make it the focus and revel in it. And there are many artistic works, anime, not even anime especially, there are many artistic works from all genres and mediums that revel in the disgusting, either for the shock value or because that is how this artist, director, that's how they developed. And I can't watch those shows because even if it's just one or two scenes, for instance, for the scene from was it The Mummy, where the scarabs eat somebody alive from under their skin? That haunted me. And the scene from, the one Hellboy movie with Rasputin, where the tentacles burst out from under his skin. Those were scenes that reveled in the body horror, in the disgust. And I did not enjoy those scenes at all. But even when it comes down to the middle ground, where you don't ignore it and you don't revel in it, when you just show it as a realistic part of the world, Saving Private Ryan, for instance, when it's there, an acknowledged fact, but it's not the point of the story, it's not what's being reveled in, I still can have trouble with that. And from the trailer that we get, unless they very deceptively edited the trailer, and I don't think that's possible in this case, Kaiju number 8 is going to be an anime that acknowledges the natural physical consequences of these fights. You shoot a giant creature in the gut, its organs are going to spill out. Blood's going to flow. But the gore is presented specifically in an artistic way, and I genuinely don't know. If somebody can explain to me this difference that I'm articulating, like on a technical level, how they do it, the blood and gore and grotesque monsters are not as repulsive as they could be, as others that I have seen. And when it comes down to Kaiju number 8 and Kaiju number 9, I actually can't articulate that. Kaiju number 8 looks like a healthy member of a different species. It's like you can look at a crab and feel pleasure. Even though its body is completely different, you can look at a healthy crab and say, yeah, I like to look at that. But if you look at a sick, diseased crab, you can tell it's sick and diseased. Kaiju number 8, Kaiju number 9, the ant kaiju, when they're in their healthy forms, they just look like an amazing creature. A kaiju, if you will. They're not revolting, for the most part. And when the show is presenting bleeding, when the show is presenting guts spilling out of a monster, it is done so in a way that is not meant to shock or repulse the audience. And again, I don't know the difference. I don't know. You have two shows, both of them shoot a monster in the gut. One of them is just utterly repulsive. One of them is just mildly unpleasant. And I don't know what the artistic difference in direction in artwork is there. And if somebody could explain that to me, I would love it. Because Kaiju number 8, the anime, seems to be solidly taking that middle ground where it shows those things which might be disgusting or revolting, but does not revel in them. But more than that, it is presenting them deliberately in such a way so that they will stimulate grief and terror, but not repulsion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just my particular analysis. What do you think? I really would love to hear in the comments. Do you have that same sense that there's a difference between showing something because it is logical that it exists in the story and showing something just to deliberately inspire feelings of disgust and repulsion in the audience? And do you think that that is not what the anime Kaiju number 8 is doing? And just to go back to the character designs, I don't like them. I still don't like them. When I see Kafka's smooth eggplant-shaped face, I just, But this is something that I can deal with. I can accept it because I understand it is a technical trade-off. In exchange for accepting the fact that these characters look like Matsumoto poured the real characters into a rock tumbler, let it run for too long, and they came out with all the rough edges smoothed out. In exchange for that, we get fluid, hyper-realistic animation, which is definitely a worthy trade-off in my mind. We even get to see Bako move in this trailer, so I was really stoked about that. We get to see if the comedic timing in this series is as good as it is in the trailer, we're in for some very pleasant amusement. Just that moment when this terrifying monster turns and looks at Reno and goes, huh? You'll know what I mean if you've read the manga. All right, but that is my opinion on the 4th official trailer. I like what I see, and in the cases that I don't, I accept that either that is a matter of my personal taste and definitely won't spoil the anime for me, or it's a trade-off that I will force myself to accept because of the quality of the animation. All right, if you've got a few minutes, you could go check out the links below the video. Check out one of my books, Flying Sparks, Dragons, Aliens, and Things That Go Boom in the Night, where I hope that I have not focused on the grotesques. Available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, hit that like and subscribe. Please give me that interaction, and peace out, my wonderful viewers.
Drake McCarty's leg was shattered, deep in the wilderness. As the flash flood closed over him, something alien pulled him from the waters. A military base that shouldn't exist. An ancient warrior with secrets of his own. Drake returns to his family with a whole leg and the burden of a secret he doesn't understand. In the forest around them, someone is watching, and something followed him home. Flying Sparks. 90,000 words of science fantasy adventure. The first novel in the Dying Embers universe is now available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo by Rakuten, Google Play Books, and from the author as a signed copy. Get your copy now and step into a world where dragons walk the forest, aliens lurk on the mountain, and things go boom in the night.
Escape into another world with the writings of author Betty Adams. Two worlds, one of utter absurdity, one of dramatic tension, both alike in aliens absolutely astounded by human behavior. Humans are weird, short, absurd science fiction stories. Flying sparks, dragons, aliens, and things that go boom in the night.
Books available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo by Rakuten, Google Play Books, and at authorBettyAdams.com for a signed copy.